Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. As expected, there is some new legislation being introduced that would end the $7,500 tax credit, repeal the investment tax credit for EV charging stations, and close the leasing loophole. But there's one aspect of that legislation that was left out, and that's the production tax credit, the one Jim Farley is talking about here. Farley sounding the alarm over potential job loss if Trump follows through with repealing these EV tax credits, and he said it could put thousands of US manufacturing jobs at risk. Remember, Ford currently has 4 different battery plants across the United States in partnership with SK, so Farley warned that rolling back IRA provisions that subsidize EV battery manufacturing could force Ford to scale back and cut jobs. He said many of those jobs at the factories in Ohio, Michigan, Kentucky, and Tennessee would be at risk if the IRA is repealed. With the tax credits in place, Ford is expecting to lose $5.5 billion on its Model E line this year, and Ford's CFO just said changes to the program would be very material to Ford's bottom line. Trump is clearly pushing for more manufacturing in the United States, so it'll be interesting to see how he handles that 45X for the production tax credit. That's the one where battery cell manufacturers get $35 per kilowatt hour, and then those assembling the modules get $10 per kilowatt hour. So for a 75 kilowatt hour battery pack, the manufacturer of those cells would get $2,625 per pack. On top of that, if they assemble all of those cells into the modules, they could get up to an additional $750. Tesla is currently receiving hundreds of millions of dollars every quarter from Section 45X, and if they scale their 4680 program to 100 gigawatt hours per year, that would be $3.5 billion every year in additional profit effectively that Tesla would be losing out on if the production credit was taken away. As you would expect, we have a few anecdotes showing that there is very strong demand for the new Model Y. Tesla Alpha and Omega said that if you order one now in China, you're basically waiting until the middle of year to get your car. With deliveries expected to begin in March, that would put us at roughly a 3-month wait to get deliveries for new orders. With deliveries set to begin in March, that would mean there's basically a 3-month wait after that to get your car for those ordering today. But I've seen people taking the number of Model Ys Tesla usually sells from Giga Shanghai and then multiplying that by 3 to say how big the backlog really is, but that's not at all how this works because remember, production of the new Model Y is going to be limited as they ramp up. And as Sawyer shared, due to exceptional demand, which was a message a customer received, Tesla has begun canceling some legacy Model Y long-range all-wheel drive orders in the UK. If you're wondering, no, it's not because all of these folks really want the old Model Y. There are some tax changes going into effect in the UK on April 1st. And given the new Model Y won't hit the UK market until after those tax changes, these customers likely want to lock in the lower, more preferable tax rates. With an exciting update, Tesla app updates said they finally found the very first lines of Robotaxi code are in the app. The first one is a feedback screen that allows users to rate the cleanliness of the vehicle and upload photos. I really wish Tesla would do a little Robotaxi event going over the app and the vehicle and how it's going to work and what the rollout might look like. I think that would be such a great event. But we're only 3.5 months away from June, which is wild, so I don't think we're going to get that. Have a look at this new video from Unitree Robotics and their G1 humanoid. Sure, smooth, fluid movements, seems pretty impressive. They say it's priced at $16,000. But what most people seem to be completely missing here, this G1 is really just meant to be a humanoid platform for robotics research, education, and development, not really as a fully autonomous household robot. Now sure, the robot's designed to over time learn through imitation, however, it actually still requires all of that training for any task you would want this to do. Unitree is a company based out of China, so again, we have somewhat limited information about this company and their plans. They keep talking about this being ready for mass production, but we still don't have any specific production numbers. I don't want to sound overly critical, but I just want to make it clear, you're going to see plenty of these marketing videos in the years ahead. Do not let them fool you. Remember Atlas from Boston Dynamics? Yeah, I do too. We need to focus on which companies have manufacturing talent and resources to 1, make the proper parts, because remember, Elon said humanoid robot parts do not exist off the shelf, and 2, focus on companies that can then assemble those parts in high volume, so mass scale manufacturing, and all of that paired with a plan to actually train the robots to do something useful, not just dances. And based on everything publicly available, I do not believe that Unitree and G1 fit any of that description, which is a perfect segue for an internal memo showing that Meta is now planning a significant investment into the humanoid robot space. Meta is establishing a new division within its Reality Labs unit to develop AI-powered humanoid robots that can assist with physical tasks. In the memo, they said the product group would focus on research and development involving consumer humanoid robots with the goal of maximizing Llama's platform capabilities. And get this, the group will be led by Mark Whitten, the former CEO of Cruise, whom Meta has hired as vice president of robotics. Not the most encouraging hire of all time. Just some context on Meta's Reality Labs unit, they lost about $5 billion in Q4 last year. And this right here was the point I was trying to make the other day, talking about DeepSeek and how much value they can actually add to BYD's autonomous efforts. Researchers have found that the language-related AI breakthroughs driving chatbot development have not necessarily helped with understanding of the physical world. Also important to note, Jan LeCun still serves as the VP and Chief AI Scientist at Meta, and him and Elon have had very public spats in the past. And Jan has laid out 4 main limitations of current LLMs. 1, they have a lack of a physical world understanding. 2, they do not have persistent memory. 3, they have limited reasoning capabilities, and 4, an inability to plan. The simple takeaway, there's a reason the phrase real-world AI exists in the first place. Meta plans to develop its own humanoid robot hardware, initially targeting household chores, while aiming to create AI, sensors, and software that can power robots manufactured and sold by various companies. So at least out of the gate, Meta doesn't want to have their own Meta-branded humanoid robot, they just want to make the hardware and the software and then sell that to other companies for them to use. Meta has begun discussing its plan with robotics companies, including, get this, Unitree Robotics and Figure AI, but again, Meta does not immediately plan to launch its own branded robot. For now though, this is clearly a signal that this is where the market is headed. And yet again, relative to these new competitors, Tesla has a multi-year advantage. Why is that, you might ask? Well, it's because of one man and his name rhymes with Felon Tusk. If we didn't have Elon at the helm of Tesla over the past 5 years, I can almost guarantee you Tesla does not have any type of lead with humanoid robotics. Alright fellas, if you want to do something special for your lady today on Valentine's Day, this will make you look pretty thoughtful. The facts. 85% of people received a digital scam attempt in 2024, and 40% of people reported getting suspicious emails, messages, or phone calls every day. The reason these figures are taking off like the next-gen Tesla Roadster is because data brokers are selling your personal information all over the web. If you buy anything or do anything online, this includes you. So give your partner the gift of peace of mind, safety, and protection this Valentine's Day with Delete Me, the sponsor of this video. When Ashley heard I did this for us, she was more excited than I expected because she does keep up with all of the latest scams. Plus, you can go sign up right now, get that 20% off with my link, and within a few minutes, you can show your wife how thoughtful you've been. It's the best last-minute gift around, so you're welcome. They send quarterly reports showing the status of each removal, and this is my 9th report now. And this time around, their work has saved me almost 100 hours of annoying phone calls and follow-ups with hundreds of data brokers. They're based in the United States. They've been doing this for over a decade. Their customer support is top tier. So if you'd like to be one giving a unique gift this year, you can head to joindeleteme.com/electrified to get 20% off using my code electrified. The link is below, or you can use the QR code on the screen. I've been looking for some signal with FSD 13.2.7, and I'm pretty sure this one would classify from James Dauma saying it's indistinguishable from magic. He was asked, "It's that good, eh?" To which James said, "It's bleep amazing." I know school zones have been hit or miss, so this clip of 13.2.7 was quite encouraging. When it comes to the Matrix headlight functionality in the US, Lars confirmed we got it this time. We'll start with the new Model Y and work our way to the other vehicles. We got through the difficult work. And to me, that sounds like all existing Tesla models that have the hardware for Matrix headlights are set to get a software update sometime later this year, enabling that functionality finally. I'm sorry guys, but I have to set the record straight on this one. No, Ray Dalio did not buy Tesla stock. Yes, Bridgewater Associates did, the hedge fund that Ray founded. However, Ray Dalio is no longer involved in the day-to-day operation of Bridgewater. So Teslaconomics, no, Ray Dalio did not initiate a $62 million position in Tesla. Son of Walkley, no, Ray Dalio did not buy 62 million of Tesla. I could go on and on for the next 10 minutes, but you get the point. Looking at the 13F filing though, Bridgewater Associates did buy about $62 million of Tesla stock, or just over 153,000 shares. This happened at some point in Q4, and it works out to about a $403 cost basis. And the reason context is so important in today's world, that $62 million position for a hedge fund that manages well over $100 billion works out to a 0.28% stake in Tesla. So this is by no means a we're betting the farm on Tesla type of move from Bridgewater. Now look, in fairness, Ray Dalio is still on the board of Bridgewater Associates, and he still does serve in a mentorship type of role for the firm. So maybe he had some direct input on this Tesla purchase, or maybe he didn't. Maybe it's just because I came from the financial world, so I've seen a lot of things. It's just funny to me when people go crazy when things like this happen, as if they have to have some insider information on something that's about to happen. To that, I would say, well, if you really had that much conviction, you would be placing a bigger bet. And two, you have to wonder, where was Bridgewater investing in Tesla when Tesla was in the 100s? And please don't misunderstand me, Ray Dalio is a legend, and Bridgewater is legendary. But it's times like this when I feel called to try to shift some of the public sentiment when it gets out of control in one certain direction. I saw plenty of people last night saying that Tesla stock was set to go crazy today because of this news, and it spent most of the day in the red and closed in the red. So yeah, it's cool that Bridgewater is finally on board, but we've known Tesla's parabolic move is coming at some point over the next 2-3 years, so this doesn't really do anything to change or even reinforce that. Honestly, for me, I'd be reading further into how Elon responded to this news than what Bridgewater did. Elon said, smart move. Because listen, if anybody has insider information on what's about to happen, it's Elon. Some more context I think you'll enjoy. Here's a quote from Ray Dalio. I built Bridgewater to build AI-directed systems for several decades, which has been the foundation of our success. AI, as it evolves, has been and will be more than ever an amazing thought partner and in many ways thought leader in investment decision-making. Decision-making solely in one's head, the way most investors still do it, is obsolete. And here's Ray just a few weeks back.
It's, of course, led by the sectors that are great sectors, the disruptors, the AI and so on. I don't think it's been carried down to the applications of AI. In other words, the uses of AI.
Right.
So if you're watching, as I'm watching around the world, and by the way, it's very interesting, what's going on in China with AI in terms of applications, other places. The applications of AI are under discounted, I think.
There you have it. Some AI application opportunities still offer significant alpha. XAI is reaching out to some investors for a $10 billion funding round that would value the company at about $75 billion, up from the last round, which had XAI valued at about $50 billion. With Tesla Software Update 2025.2.6, they're finally rolling out the features for the in-cabin cabin radar that's been in vehicles now for years. This feature is also expected to come to the new Model 3 and the Cybertruck, but for now, the Model S and X are left out. These radars are basically right above the rear view mirror, and now the functionality, the first row cabin sensing system has been updated to use cabin radar, which is now standard in the new Model Ys. I would add Model Ys built as early as the fall of 2021 have this radar as well, but there was a period in 2023 where they were not including this radar, but Tesla has been reaching out to those customers to offer a free upgrade. This is the software that will enable dynamic airbag deployment based on passenger size and positioning. And later this year, it'll be able to detect occupants in the second row, as we highlighted a few weeks back. Tesla stock closed the day at $355.84, down 0.03%, while the Nasdaq was up 0.41%. The volume was 10% below the average. Don't forget, check out Delete Me linked below if you're interested. Surprise your Valentine this year with a thoughtful gift. Unless we get some impactful news, there will likely be no video from me on Monday, which is President's Day. The markets are closed. So hope you all have a wonderful and a safe holiday and long weekend. Please like the video if you did. You can find me on X linked below. And a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.